In a brand new poll done by NBC, actually, 86% of Americans now say that President Joe Biden is too old to hold office. They also say that 59% of them think that Donald Trump is too old to hold office. Although comparing Biden's cognition with Trump's cognition seems to me very disparate and disconnected. I don't think you can really even compare the two. And I'm not coming from a biased standpoint. It has been abundantly clear this guy Biden is just in cognitive decline, minute by minute, day by day. I'm going to share with you some powerful videos. Stick around. You don't want to miss this video. You want to watch till the end. And I'm assuming, by the way, 86% of Americans, I'm assuming the other 14% are who? Biden's extended family. And what they really mean is not too old, because age is irrelevant here. This is not ageism. I know plenty of people. I've got clients. I've got, family members who are in their 80s who are sharp, there, together, can actually communicate and even in some ways hold conversations better than they used to. Don Rickles, one of my comedic heroes, comes to mind. In his 90s, this guy was going on the David Letterman show, and laser sharp, still had the fire. So this has nothing to do with age. What that poll genuinely reflects is this guy is in severe cognitive decline. I've gotten a lot of your comments too. I've got health practitioners in my family, but I love getting comments from people who've had experience with their parents, loved ones, family members, even nurses, doctors who've said this guy is definitely there. All signs are pointing to, yes, senility and dementia. The early signs of this are in full effect and in full display. So I really, really appreciate your comments. And now I've got two bold predictions for y'all today. I've got two very, very bold predictions for you. I think something's going to happen. Number one, I think something's going to happen at the State of the Union. Something dramatic, something that's going to be the final nail in the coffin, if we haven't had enough final nails in the coffin. And something's going to happen to Biden when he gives his State of the Union speech. Either he's going to pass out or he's going to be so drenched in brain fog that he's going to have to be guided off the podium by somebody, and there's going to be some kind of emergency press conference where, they finally announce this guy is stepping down. I'm not a fan of Kamala taking over, but at this point, having this guy in charge of the nuclear codes, having this guy in charge of our hard-earned taxpayer money is beyond egregious at this point. And we only have 9 months left to go. So that's my first bold prediction. Something is going to happen. We've already had all the signs pointing to this guy needs to go. He should not even be on the ballot. They need to find somebody different, somebody new, somebody young, somebody who's with it, mentally, physically, etc. The second prediction is, look who they, reflecting the title of this video, look who they enlist now. Look who's coming back. The timing couldn't be more impeccable. Mr. Jon Stewart, Mr. Political Satire himself, is back hosting The Daily Show, and wait till you see these videos. My second prediction is Jon Stewart is going to soften the landing, soften the blow for America, and really for the Democratic leadership, Kamala, Obama, Schumer, Pelosi, etc. They're going to alleviate and assuage their guilt, assuage their House of Cards power play here, especially Kamala, on basically giving this guy the boot, because it needs to happen, but they don't want to lose precious points with the public. And so here comes Jon Stewart. And if you haven't seen his first premiere episode yesterday on The Daily Show of him returning to the show after 9 years of terrible ratings, of DEI hosts like Trevor Noah. And let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys like The Daily Show? Do you watch The Daily Show? Do you like Jon Stewart? I think Jon Stewart is smart. He's intelligent. He's witty. Maybe more clever than intelligent. A lot of his policies and his viewpoints I can't stand. I never really liked him. I'm a Gen Xer, so I was this kind of target demographic back when The Daily Show was really popular. But back then I wasn't really ensconced in politics, or didn't really care, because I wasn't really a stakeholder. And now being a father, homeowner, and just more of a contributing civic responsible citizen, I have more stakes in the game, so I have more interest, and I'm really doing this because I'm sick and tired of seeing my country go in the wrong direction. I'm sick and tired of this deterioration of our values and principles. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Jon Stewart. You watched The Daily Show? Did you see the last episode? I'm going to share with you some videos that absolutely shocked me because, you know, you would think Jon Stewart, the way he went after George Bush, he's dumb, George Sr., George W., Iraq, the war, etc., etc. He was super merciless when it came to berating and lampooning those leaders back in the day. I thought, you know, this is the year he's coming back. This is the most consequential year in American history since the Civil War. I've said this many times. I thought he's going to go after Trump for sure, isn't he? Lo and behold, if you haven't seen the episode, spoiler alert, I'm going to show some really powerful clips where he goes hard. He even has a guest come on, the editor-in-chief of The Economist, come on, who goes hard on the liberal candidate, the Democratic president, Joe Biden. We're going to check out some videos, so stick around for that. But first, listen to some of these defenses that, to me, seem defenseless by Chuck Schumer and others. Listen to what they're saying about, these are the people you voted for, y'all. I didn't vote for them. Somebody had to have voted for them, right? If it's not you, who? How do you defend this? How can you say this after what we've seen? Check out some of these videos right here.
First one, I talk to President Biden, regularly. Sometimes several times in a week, or usually several times in a week. His mental acuity is great. It's fine. It's as good as it's been over the years. I've been speaking to him for 30 years since we worked on the Brady Bill and the assault weapons ban when I was a young congressman. He's fine. All this right-wing propaganda that his mental acuity is declined is wrong.
Okay, so this is White House press secretary talking about, by the way, this is really breaking news, huge news, where President Biden is going to be the first American president in U.S. history to decline a cognitive test for his upcoming physical exam. The first time in history. This is unprecedented. That's worse than actually, in my view, I'd love to hear what you guys think. In my view, that's worse than actually failing the cognitive test, refusing to take it. What is up with that? Let's hear what she says here.
Test, a cognitive test, as a part of this physical is a legitimate idea, particularly just on the heels of the special counsel report, more polling, as my colleague Selena just mentioned, showing that many American people have concerns about that.
Look, I got this question last week as well, and I'm just going to say what Dr. O'Connor, it's kind of what he said to me about a year ago when the report came out last year, obviously on his physical, which is the president proves every day how he operates, how he thinks, right? But by dealing with world leaders, by making really difficult decisions on behalf of the American people, whether it's domestic, whether it's national security. And so he shows it every day on how he thinks, how he operates. And so that is how Dr. O'Connor sees it, and that's how I'm going to leave it.
What do you think about the idea of taking that kind of a test?
I believe, for me, you're asking me my personal opinion, he is sharp. He is on top of things. When we have meetings with him, with his staff, he's constantly pushing us, trying to get more information. And so that has been my experience with this president. Anything else outside of that,
If you can't tell by her body language and her voice, the way she's answering it, her demeanor, her mannerisms, she doesn't believe a goddamn word of this. She does not believe one word of what she's saying, just like Chuck Schumer is a PhD in lying. I mean, there's just, most politicians, I'll agree, even Trump, a lot of people on both sides are professional liars. But I mean, I think Schumer and Pelosi take it to the next level. She can't hide it. She's not hiding a thing here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And then finally, of course, look who shows up to defend her man. There she is, the most corrupt politician in the history of the United States. Here we go. Let's hear what criminal Pelosi has to say.
So I think that, again, age is an objective fact. As I say, it's all relative. He's younger than I am, so what do I have to say about his age? But he is, again, knowledgeable, wise. And after the football game yesterday, which I was sad, I'm proud of the San Francisco 49ers.
I didn't want to bring it up with you, but since you brought it up.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason I brought it up is because at the end of the game, you saw experience prevail. We have a new, fresh team. Wait till next year. We're getting all ready for it. But you saw experience prevail at the end. Experience is so important. So Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker. This is a very sharp president. In terms of his public presentation, if he makes a slip of the tongue here or there, what's the deal? He has
You see a difference.
What he needs mentally and what he has in his heart empathetically for the American people.
Are you convinced by any of those arguments? Are you convinced? He's empathetic. He's got a heart. So he made a few slip-ups. You know, whatever. No big deal. Is any of that convincing to you guys? Now, let's check out a couple of clips from The Daily Show that just premiered yesterday with Jon Stewart returning as host. Because these guys, they have to play House of Cards. Chuck Schumer doesn't believe a word of what he says. Pelosi doesn't believe a word of what she says. The White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre does not believe a word of what she's actually terrible at hiding it and masking it. The other two are pros at it. And the list goes on and on. Even Schiff. There's a couple of other people within the leadership who are terribly egregiously lying about this, and other hosts and pundits from the left. It's awful. There's no way you can spin this. This guy is unfit for office. Medical practitioners and 86% of Americans, which it's probably more, agree with this. Now, here's the guy who's going to basically close the case. He's going to close the case, and he does it with satire, and it's very effective. Okay, by the way, pathos. We talk a lot about the rhetorical principles of Aristotle that go back 2,000 years. This is where pathos comes in. The humor, the satire, the lampooning. It's not funny unless there's a lot of truth to it. Sometimes a little bit, sometimes a lot of truth. In this case, there's a lot of truth. I want you to watch this because I was shocked watching this episode. I watched the whole episode. I would encourage you to do it as well. I was shocked when I saw this. He went after Biden mercilessly. And I want you to watch this and then we'll talk about it.
These two candidates, they are both similarly challenged. And it is not crazy to think that the oldest people in the history of the country to ever run for president might have some of these challenges. Now, Democrats will say that any criticism like this, especially of Biden, is unfair. Because you just don't know Biden like they know Biden.
President Biden, who I've been around numerous times just in this last year, is sharp, he's focused, he's bright.
He is sharp,
same rhetoric,
intensely
over and over.
Probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart, he's on his game.
I was in almost every meeting with the president, and the president was in front of and on top of it all, coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our allies around the globe.
Did anyone film that? Because if you're telling us behind the scenes he is sharp and full of energy and on top of it and really in control and leading, you should film that. That would be good to show to people instead of a TikTok where he goes, chocolate chip cookie. We see he's in charge. You see, I like cookies. Look at me. Look what time hath wrought. Give the kids a treat of the lunar surface here. Look at this. I'm like 20 years younger than these.
And there's another, I mean, there was more too. I just showed you just a clip there. There's a lot more that Jon Stewart, and again, like I said, he has on a guest who they both go after Biden pretty hardcore. Deservingly so, I would say. And so I believe that his timing of coming back to host The Daily Show, which was hugely popular in its day. As a Gen Xer, it was something that all of my friends and all of my generation grew up watching and loved. This timing is very interesting. We're in the most consequential election year in the past 150 years since the Civil War. And Biden is making it abundantly clear, just from not even from just a data point, but just every example that he gives, every time he gets in front of the camera, gives a press conference, an interview, which is very minimal, by the way, probably the least amount of camera appearances of any sitting president. He makes it abundantly clear he's not fit for office. And now when you look at the poll numbers, you look at Trump leading in a lot of states, in national polls, et cetera, you look at 86% of Americans think this guy's unfit for office. Now they bring in their golden boy who's going to bring in the soft landing. Mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, he's gone. He's out. Who they're going to replace him with, there's a couple of things I could say. Maybe I'll talk about that in a new video. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Do you think that my two predictions, I want to hear from you, and I try to respond to every single comment personally. Do you think my two predictions are going to come true? Number one, something detrimental or something dramatic is going to happen at bookmark this, save this video, at the State of the Union that President Biden's going to give in March. And the golden boy, the master political satirist and lampooner, Mr. Jon Stewart, returns to The Daily Show in the most consequential year of our American history in the past century, is going to soften the landing and soften the blow and make the Democrats look good come voting time. Because you don't want voters going, man, they kicked out Joe. They do eat their own. They are corrupt within. They are ruthless. They don't care about anything. Don't even have any respect for this guy who's done so much, supposedly. And he's a lot of these people who are voting Democrat, it's not a huge contingent of younger generations. It's the boomers who basically just hate Trump. I mean, they just basically hate Trump. They're not even voting based on policy. They're voting based on emotion. So here comes Jon Stewart. Here comes Jon Stewart, the baby boy, the endearer to these older generations, my generation and the boomer generation. And he's going to soften the blow. He's going to make the Democrats look good because facts are facts, because enough is enough. This guy needs to go. This is the perfect weapon for the Democrats and the left. This is the perfect arsenal that they have deployed to carry out their plans. I would love to hear from you. What do you think? I hope this video ages well. I presume it will, or I think it will. I'm happy to be wrong. As always, I welcome all opposing views. I'm not, I'm happy to be wrong. Again, my goal with this channel is to bridge the divide, not expand the divide. I think conversation, I think discourse, I think debate, I think collaborating on thoughts and ideas. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's not about winning. It's about the American principle of the best idea wins. So I'm happy to be wrong. Let me know in the comments. And this is something that Biden should do. If Biden wants to prove his competency, I've said this in other videos, he needs to go out there every single day and get in front of an audience, get in front of people, get in front of the American people. And as Jon Stewart says on his show, it's his job to assuage the American public that he's fit for office, not the other way around, where I think he made a great point on his show where he says that it's not the citizen's job to allay concerns. It's the candidate's job. Aptly put. I agree with that. As always, thank you so much for being here. Check out these videos right here to go more in depth. Subscribe and follow. God bless the United States of America. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.